Cauldron of changes, feather.
Hey there boys and girls, Lady Silver Vixen here. Instead of my usual videos, I'm actually planning on just giving you guys some descriptions. You guys figure out what the tool is. I'll let you know if you're right or wrong after you post a comment. The first tool that I want to talk about, this tool is usually a double-edged. It has a black handle. You don't use it to cut anything except energy. Some people believe, depending on which tradition you follow, that this particular tool can actually be used to be carved as a carving tool, especially for candles. Most people don't like that though, so just remember that this tool for energy only. Its partner, however, is white-handled. It's usually either in the shape of a crescent moon, or it can be straight. It doesn't really matter too much, so long as you understand its purpose. This is usually white-handled, and it is used for all the physical cutting of mundane things. Herbs, it's used for carving wood, used for cutting cords, things of that nature. What are those two tools? Anyway, moving on. The next tool we can talk about is something that you actually make yourself. You usually don't want to buy this because, well, really don't want to buy any tools, but a lot of people just kind of skimp on this part instead of actually putting a whole lot of energy into it. This is a tool usually made of wood. It usually varies between 6 inches to 13 inches long. The woods for this tool vary, and the reason for that is because each person has a specific intent or purpose in mind when they're actually creating this particular tool. It can be dressed or adorned any way that you actually so choose to feel that it should be. You can add crystals, you can tie herbs to it, whatever you feel is necessary. What's the tool? The next tool that I'm thinking of is usually pretty round, three-legged, usually used for cooking. This tool you can actually also use for scrying, as well as placing candles or things of that nature inside, using it as kind of like a little burn pit. If, you know, actually burning specific things it isn't a possibility for you, this would be a great way to keep the fire contained. This tool is also associated with west, water, and it is also associated with the goddess, with feminine nature, and is also known as a tool that's really a representation of plenty, of bounty. It's the never-ending well, so to speak. Can you guess what the tool is? The next tool, a lot of people actually wear this around their necks. Its usual symbolism is that of earth when it's being used on the altar. This particular tool usually has different purposes throughout ritual, although I'm not going to go too deep because I don't want to spill the beans on this one. You can actually find this carved into different pieces of wood. This is actually a protective symbol. It represents the 5 elements, and it is either with a circle or without one. Each of the elements has one of these for invoking as well as banishing. And if that doesn't give it away, there's a serious issue. What's the tool? One of the other tools that I really wanted to bring forth, this is actually a kind of dish, almost. This is for offerings. It's for placing candles that you'd like to use, you know, to put out there. For the offerings, it can be food or liquid. What's the name of the tool? Obviously, this next one's going to be pretty easy. This one deals with air. It can either come in a stick or a cone, or it can be loose, where you're actually going to need charcoal tablets. The tool that I'm trying to get at, though, is the actual place where these things go that keep them from setting your altar and your curtains on fire. What's the tool? The next tool that I want to talk about is pretty easy. It's associated with fire. It can vary in color. It's usually pretty solid. And this particular tool is usually, it can be either one or it can be many. It can range in purpose from doing spells to representing the god and goddess, or it can represent the elements, or all of it at once. What's the tool? And to be honest with you, I've actually covered pretty much every tool except one at this point that I really wanted to focus towards. This particular tool is usually has kind of like a basin type shape. It has a fluke and a foot. It can be glass, or it can be like a silver or pewter, or worst come to worst, it can just be that's the only hint you get. This is associated with water. It's also associated with the goddess. So think about it for a few minutes. And if you didn't get the hint the first time around, there's no helping you. Pay attention to your surroundings. Every tool that I just mentioned, I will let you know exactly what it is. Don't worry about it. If you get it wrong, everybody's got to start somewhere. You know, you can go online, you can look these things up. For anyone who's been practicing for a while, you guys are probably more aware of your surroundings and probably got the hints for each one of those. There is one specific tool that I did leave out, though, and it's a very important tool. It should never be forgotten. This tool I've actually not only shown you how to make in previous videos, but I've also put a great emphasis on the use of this. If any of you know me, I'm all about keeping records of things. This tool is a witch's best friend. Okay, when you have no other tools, this is the greatest tool of all. This can be either on a computer, or it can be in just a blank book, a notebook, a binder with loose leaf paper. It doesn't really matter. This tool is so important to the witch that without it, we can survive. But how are we going to know if we've done something specific? How can we go back and look at things that we've done previously and look at the specific details to figure out what we can change about ourselves, how we can approach the same topic in a different light or from a different perspective. This tool keeps track of everything, pretty much. Spells, rituals. I know some people who actually keep a lunar calendar written down for the year, the year ahead, and they actually have it as a whole separate section in the back. This is also, for all the information that you learn while you're walking the path of the craft. Try saying that 3 times fast. This is a very important tool. After spells, you should write in it. After ritual, you should write in it. When you have the weirdest dream that you can't decipher, you should write it down and put it in this. What's the tool, guys? If you can't figure this last one out, please go and do your research, because either you haven't seen one of my videos before, and this is your first time watching one of my videos, or you have not been practicing very long, and you still haven't learned most of your tools yet. If you're a person who's advanced and still can't figure it out, please contact me, because me and you have some serious issues. Anybody who's been practicing more than 2 years should be able to figure this out. I know some of my students from a couple of the websites that I teach from have only been practicing a few months. Most of them are going to be able to figure out what these tools are with no problem. Guys, the tools may not always be very necessary when it comes to spells and rituals and just magic in general. They are only focal aids. But if you use them, you need to know what they are. If you don't know what, say, an athame is used for, what its symbolism is, things of this nature, you need to go back and start doing more research on these specific tools. I will more than gladly help anybody who needs the extra help. Don't forget, the whole reason I'm on YouTube, the whole reason I do these videos, is to make sure that there's enough information out there for beginners to actually have a firm base to start from. I have no problem whatsoever helping out anybody who needs the extra help if I can help them. Anyway, guys, down below, type your comments, let me know, what the tools are and such. Or if you have any further questions, feel free to let me know. I tried to make this as simple and as basic as possible. I didn't make this difficult. Okay? I tried to make this as easy as I possibly could. If you don't know it, you don't know it. Just say you don't know. Okay? And then from there, we'll figure something out, and I'll help you out as much as I can. Anyway, this is Lady Silver Vixen, guys. I'm signing out for now. Be blessed.